She throws the planter, and then Tommy takes 14 fucking years to come down the stairs and open the fucking door to let her in. Like she's being chased by Michael, and Tommy's there like daydreaming. What are you doing? Open the door, Tommy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the Saving Point podcast. I am your co-host, your host Eduardo, and then this is my co-host Willie. Welcome back to episode 2, man. We're gonna be talking about Halloween. It's the month of October, so we're gonna be going over the first Halloween, original 1978 movie, and then Halloween 2, the 1981 sequel.
Hell yeah,
today,
man. Should be a fun one. Feeling great. We just came off of that first episode that we did where we talked about Dexter, and now we're here supporting October, supporting Halloween with the film Halloween. And like you said, we're going to start with the original first two, the 1978 and the 1981 film of Halloween. And I think we both share personally that this is our favorite horror movie. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, definitely a favorite horror movie in any type of horror genre that you want to, categorize things under.
Right.
It's such an iconic movie, man. Such an iconic
character.
Dude,
this first movie, man, it's low-key a masterpiece, I think. It is from just Carpenter created something amazing, and I don't think he knew what he was creating when he started this movie. It's we have a bunch of notes written down before we get into all the notes. Just the overall like thought of Halloween. I think you need to go back and watch this movie if you haven't seen it in a while, and go back and just observe scene by scene, piece by piece, because there's a lot of meaning behind each scene in this movie that you're gonna miss.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that?
Yeah, and talk about pay attention to talk about like the type of style the movie was, for the time period it was. Like I can't only imagine like growing up during that time period, and for this movie to come out, and like just the vibe, and like of course like filmmaking back then was so different. The budget of this movie was very low, and
yeah, dude,
it was very
$300,000.
Yeah, like
that's
kind of crazy. But for it to be as good as it did, to be a staple in the horror movie genre, like what John Carpenter and like Deborah Hill were able to come up with, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, directed by John Carpenter. He's done movies in the past before he's done this one, like The Thing, which is a great fucking movie. Then he came out with this one and kind of co-wrote it with Deborah Hill. And Deborah Hill, I think, is a sleeper. I don't think she gets enough credit for what she helped create with this franchise. She really, I think, going into this movie in 1978, Deborah Hill really created the vibe between the commentary between all the young high schoolers. She created the banter when they're walking in the neighborhood from school. She was the one that created how they should talk and how they should speak, which is brilliant, because it was, you can just count how many times they said totally in like one
Dude,
scene. It was like 14
I love
times.
That line, bro. I love that. Just that word in that movie is just hilarious, man. Every time you just wait for her to say it every time, and it's coming.
Totally.
Totally,
totally
coming. It's just so funny. And it's so good though. Like it just captures like that 70s, like late 70s essence.
It does, yeah.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah, Deborah Hill really stood out and helped Carpenter make this fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just starting out with this fucking movie though, it starts out in 1963. Just young
Mm-hmm.
fucking Michael, and it just starts out with like the iconic, camera in the mask,
Yeah.
which we have never seen anything like that until this movie came out. That was the first of its kind,
Mm-hmm.
and it really, it really made you look at the point of view of the killer. And
Yeah.
when he's taking the knife, he's going up
Yeah.
and down,
Such iconic
killing his sister, dude.
scene.
We never seen anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
No movie has put you in to the world of the killer until
But
now. It was a crazy scene.
like that, yeah, like I said, that first person point of view, uh,
Yeah,
which to me, it sticks out a lot, and I actually really like it. Like you said, like that scene is iconic. Like the camera, like he's stabbing his sister, it pans out to like the right, and you just see the knife just going back and forth. Like
yeah,
it's
bro.
crazy. It just captures like the essence of like what the movie will be, and yeah, like shooting
Right.
a lot of them scenes in like first person, like it's like John Carpenter. John Carpenter really brought out something new, something special, man. And like you said, he
He
at that
did.
time, I'm sure he probably didn't think, he was gonna create, what it is, to be known as
Yeah,
today. But man, like
yeah. That
it
was
hit like really good, man.
it really did, and he came out swinging with just that first scene. Fucking, and young Michael, finds the mask of the boyfriend and puts it on, and he does what he does to his sister,
Mm.
and then he just comes outside, and the parents come home. They roll up, and it's just Michael with the
So
knife, and they're like,
good.
"Why are you outside, Michael?" He's just a child. He's like,
Mhm.
"Yeah,
It's like 6 years
that's what
old
I
or
did."
whatever.
So,
And then like just the intro to the movie though, like when it's going over like the people introducing, uh, it like it's right off the bat, it hits you with like the iconic Halloween theme, and it's
yep,
so good. Which was also
yep,
like put together by John Carpenter, so he did everything in this movie, man.
he did. And that, if we're gonna talk about the theme and the score of Halloween, we got to talk about it because how iconic is this score? This is probably one of the best horror movie
hmm
scores ever made.
I'd
Ever
s-
made.
I'd say in like movie, like in general, like not even speaking of like horror as a genre, like I'd say in just general, man, like it's so iconic, like everyone knows it. Like as soon as it hits, like it's Michael Myers,
Yep,
it's Halloween,
you do.
and the whole like it's creepy, it sounds really good, like it's really well put together, man. The
Yeah.
theme is so good, man.
It is very fucking good, and they have like I think a total like 4 or 5 different themes, the songs in this movie. You have the first one, with the
Mhm.
piano, and then you have that one where when Michael's chasing you,
Yeah,
the dun
that
dun dun, that one,
yeah.
dude. That one, it's so simple, but
Yeah,
it
it's
captures what you need it to capture.
yeah, like it's yeah. You can argue like where like it's so simple sounding, but it fits it, and like I don't know, like it's just perfect. Like everything about it, like it's so
Yep.
good.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Carpenter definitely struck gold on it. And fun fact, did you know that Donald Pleasant, uh, when he watched this movie back, he was not a
Mm.
fan of it until they put the music in, and then he was
Mm.
like, "That's the only reson why I'm gonna do this movie is just because of the
Really,
music." That's
that's
crazy.
hilarious. No, I
Yeah.
did not know that. I
No,
did
he's
not
like,
know
if it wasn't for the fucking movie score,
that.
I don't want any part of it.
That's crazy.
It
That's
is. It
crazy.
is. But yeah, I mean, then we jump ahead to 1978,
Mm-hmm.
and just that opening scene of 1978 with the fucking car in the rain, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like cruising along with the nurse, and it's like, and here comes Michael.
It comes like the whole what's it called that he's in the mental institution, and
Yeah.
Like they pull up to like where the gate is, and like you just see all these, you know, inmates or like whatever you want to call them, just spread around
Right.
like the lawn, and like they're just walking
Yeah.
around. And like that within itself is creepy because like
It
it's
is.
pitch dark outside. Like it's you can't see anything other than like whatever the the car light, the headlights are showing, and it's like
Yep.
you don't want to be out there, man. You
No,
definitely
you
don't want to
don't.
be
You
out
don't. That's such a creepy scene. They're just trying to transport Michael,
there. Hmm.
and it's been 15 years where he's been stuck in this place, and they come along, and all these mental patients are roaming around in the rain, and then
Hmm.
all of a sudden you have Michael that jumps on top of the car. And he breaks the glass, and the nurse is like, "No, fuck this,
She's
dude."
like,
She fucking dips.
she jumps out because she wants no part of it. I'm surprised like he doesn't kill her. Honestly, I don't know why I
Yeah.
thought he did. I thought he did, but I guess he didn't. She just jumps out the car.
No, she got away, and then he just said, "Fuck this," stole the car,
Just kept driving.
and there's a lot of people online and whatever that always say, how does Michael know how to drive a car if he's been
Hmm.
locked up
He's
for
been like
15 years? But there's also that funny line that Donald
that.
Pleasant says, that he's like, well, maybe someone taught
Someone
him
thought of
inside,
it's so fun.
because just to kind of shut everyone up, they had
Yeah.
to put that in there, like, well, maybe someone in there taught him, huh?
Dude, Donald Pleasant, uh, character Dr. Loomis has so many like iconic lines in this movie that
Dude,
stick out. Like everything he says, like like matters and like sticks out. And it probably
it
like I don't know
does.
if it was intentional or not, but like being the movie that it is today and like remembered as like dude, he says so many like quirky things that just stick out and like it's hilarious, man. It's so good.
But yeah, man, I think Donald Pleasance is definitely if it wasn't for Michael and based around him, I think Dr. Loomis is probably the biggest character in this fucking movie, just based on
Hmm.
his presence
Yeah,
alone. You know?
yeah. His character is just as big as Michael's and like Laurie's character in this movie. Um,
Yeah,
like without him, it's a completely different movie. Um, because
it
he's like
is. It
his,
is.
I guess you can call it like a obsession with Michael. Like I mean, he's his doctor. You know, that's his patient. He spent those 15
Yep.
years ever since he was a kid and got put into the hospital. And even though he had Michael like hasn't said a word, like his facial expressions are the same, like he's
Yeah.
really try to get into the psyche of like why Michael did what he did. And
Right.
like even though like he doesn't say anything, like he knows like how smart of a person Michael is, and like why he was like how he's saying like
Right.
he's been waiting patiently for 15 years to come home,
Yeah.
and he does on Halloween night in 1978, man.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, dude, fucking. So yeah, he steals that card and he heads to fucking Haddonfield, and the next day is Halloween. We get to see Lori for the first time. She
Mhm.
comes walking out, going to school, and then just that entire day, you would just have Michael driving around in this car that he stole,
Stalking her pretty
just
much.
stalking everybody. Like that's scary enough, this dude with this big ass dude that stole a jumpsuit and then broke into a
Still a
hardware store
mess.
and stole a mask. Now he's
Yeah,
driving around in a car stalking
that's creepy,
everybody.
man.
No, I'm good, dude.
Even back in during that time, like he's standing outside like the her school. She's looking out the window, and he's just there. And then they, when they're walking home after school, and he just drives by them
Yep.
and just stares at them. And then even the scene where like they're walking, um, and he's like hiding behind the bushes. Like that's such a like iconic
Bushes, the
scene.
iconic scene.
Where yeah,
Yep.
it's a memorable scene. He's just there. Even the part where like
Yeah.
when she finally makes it home and she's looking out the window at her house, and he's just there too.
Yep.
It's crazy.
He's just outside behind the
Hmm.
clotheslines. He's just looking at her from the fucking window. It's like,
Yeah, and
dude,
she
can you
thinks
just
she's
leave me
crazy
alone? Who
because
are
she's
you?
like, no way, I'm like, who is this person?
Yeah.
And like it's Halloween, so like at that point too, like it's like,
Yeah.
is this just some trick or treater, just like dress up person, just like being weird
Right.
or something?
Yeah,
Like she has no idea who it really is.
dude. And no idea. And I think another Carpenter thing that he brought to film, along with the first person visual inside of the mask, when Laurie and I forget the little kid's name, when they walk up to the Myers house and all you hear is
Tommy,
Michael
yeah, I think it's
breathing,
Tommy.
like, yeah, Tommy, and all you hear is Michael breathing. We it
Yeah,
puts you into that fucking element again as like, oh shit,
yeah.
he is inside of a mask. Oh shit, he's and all we hear is
Hmm.
this creepy breathing.
Just that
That was
breathing.
different too. It's like what what this movie definitely does for you is delay
Hmm.
gratification.
It does.
The whole movie, you're just
Yeah,
waiting for it to happen
yeah.
because you know something's gonna happen, and it creeps you out
Hmm.
and delays
Yeah, he
everything,
did
and
it
he did
perfectly.
it perfectly. I don't know how he came up with that idea, but
Yeah,
he did a
and it
damn good
keeps
job with
you
that.
just in tune throughout the whole movie. Like you said, he kills his sister in the beginning. Like there's a 15-year time jump. Like he's like patient. Like again, it's just like he's patiently waiting for like the right moment. Like I said, without him even speaking or like anything. Like he's such a like smart character. Um, for like this type of person, and
Yeah,
even for the things he does, like he does everything like with a purpose almost. Like he waits for the perfect
he
opportunity
does.
to strike, which is crazy.
Yeah, and it goes into the main portion of the movie when night falls happens. Fucking now he's like, in the backyards, he's finding knives, he's fucking stalking all
Mm.
of Laurie's friends, and then he takes them
Yeah.
out one by one. And the death scenes in this movie are
Mm.
not very graphic. They're just pretty
Yeah.
iconic in nature because you remember pretty much every death scene
Hmm.
in this
Yeah, they're not
movie.
very violent or bloody or anything like that, and we'll have something to say at the end of the second movie, in which maybe this is the reason why it's not like that. But it didn't even have to be
Okay.
like the way it was shot, like
No.
the camera angles he uses, like he didn't have to put an emphasis on
Yep.
these deaths by spewing blood everywhere and like making them like super gruesome or whatever.
Right.
Like every death was
Exactly.
was was shot like perfectly and shot well. um and like it's crazy, like literally all her friends die, like literally all of them just die in the
Yep.
movie, like she's the only
Yeah.
one.
One of the ones that definitely stand out is the one where uh they just got done doing the deed in the bed, and then
Mm.
the boyfriend goes
Yeah.
downstairs and he kills the boyfriend.
Hmm.
He stabs him against the wall, and he just looks at him and tilts
Yeah,
his
he just
head.
stares at him.
And that was just as
Yeah,
creepy as it is. Like, all right, this giant ass dude with a
staring
mask
at
just
him.
stabbed this dude onto the
Yeah.
wall, stuck him on the
Yeah,
wall
he's a
like a tack,
strong ass freaking
and does
dude
this
too.
creepy ass head tilt.
Yeah, the head tilt.
Yeah, and then he shit, and then he goes upstairs and he's dressed in a sheet with fucking boyfriend's
Hmm.
glasses on. And it's like, all right, what's going on now?
Yeah,
Like
and
we
that's
all know he's fucking Michael.
like I said, it goes to show you like how like he's not like an ordinary kind of like serial killer. Um, in the what's it called?
Yeah, yeah,
Or like in the movie and stuff like that. or what's I say? Like he's not
Right.
just like an ordinary guy. Like he knows what he's doing. He's almost like I say, he's strong. He's smart. Like he does everything with a like purpose and intent overall. Like he's trying to kill Lori eventually, right?
Yeah.
But like he knows what he's
Yeah.
doing. Like he'll like when are
Yeah.
you gonna see someone else put like a blanket over them and just pretend to be like someone else just to try to get the kill?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. And then she, calls Lori and he starts choking her from behind, and then that scene where he's dropping her to the ground and the sheet pulls from his face and you
Yeah.
see Michael's mask and all that. It's just a creepy ass scene, man. And back in
Mm-hmm.
1978, nobody has this was a different movie back in 1978. It's like people were like watching this like,
Mm-hmm.
what the hell is going on,
No,
dude?
it was
This is
kind of like
creepy.
the first in its genre for the most part, and it kind of like set the tone for like what
Yeah,
like the slasher genre of horror is. And like I said,
absolutely.
like we talked about, like I'm sure John Carpenter didn't know originally like he'd create such a iconic moving character, and like you know there's so many other
Right.
movies that that came out after this one. Um, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
man.
And like just going back to like creating Michael as this boogeyman essentially, like in the movie, like he is the boogeyman, like what everyone's like afraid of in their dreams, like what as a
Yep.
kid, like the boogeyman's coming to get you, like like it's kind of like a
Right.
cool kind
Yeah,
of uh like recurring theme um throughout the movie,
it is.
that like Donald or like Dr. Loomis uh also keeps it going by basically like the personification of evil is Michael.
Yeah.
Like he's like throughout the whole movie there's like the
Yeah.
constant theme of like Michael isn't human. Like he's just like he's not
Yes.
human. Like he's like not really like the devil, but just the personification of evil itself. Like he's just an evil freaking person, man.
Yes. I'm so glad that you brought that up because I was gonna go off on
Mm-hmm.
a whole tangent about that actually. Like you said, he's being known as evil throughout this entire movie. And you know what? Something that my wife explained to me, evil is always lurking. Evil is always there.
Mm-hmm.
Evil will never die, right?
Yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
Michael is. Is Michael isn't
Mm-hmm.
a person.
Yeah.
He is evil, and what that means, like you have this safe neighborhood suburbs, right? And nothing can go wrong. However, there's always evil. Evil will always seep into something that seems to be perfect just to play his hand at destroying it, right? And that's what kind of this movie
Mm-hmm.
is kind of based on, because we didn't know essentially that Lori was
Yeah. Right.
his sister yet, right? In this movie, you have just this evil being coming back
Mm-hmm.
to where he was born to just create evil everywhere, right? And you have this moral character of a Lori, and what does evil want to do? Evil wants to destroy
Mm-hmm.
something good, something
That's a
pure,
lawyer.
and that's what Lori kind of represents with
Yeah.
something good and something pure. And Michael, being what evil is,
Mm-hmm.
he wants that gone. And I think this movie
Yeah.
has a really deep meaning if you
Which
actually
is
look at it.
yeah, we can talk about so much about because like you said, it's not just a normal standard horror slasher where like you kind of numb to like, oh, like all he does is chase people and kill them. Like no, like if you really look at it, like you said, there's themes in this movie that people, I'm sure there's a lot of people don't even think about, uh uh because like that's kind of all they see is like, oh, Michael Myers, like he just has a butcher knife all movie and like all he does is kill people. It's like no, like the whole personification of evil, like he does everything for a purpose and an intent. We'll talk about it a little bit more later, but like John Carpenter, like the creative mind that he has, like like he made this into like a whole movie, and like with the purpose of like this was a complete story. Like there was no intent of like
Yeah,
of making Halloween 2 at all. So that's why I think also that theme kind of slowly starts to go away with like the sequels, I guess. Because of course it's someone else completely. Like I mean
yeah,
he wrote the second one, but um the first movie as a whole, it's a complete story, start to finish, with like an actual purpose. If you really
it
look
is.
deep into it, not just like a mind numbing, he's gonna go kill people just to kill people thing. And like you said, of course, we didn't know that he
Right,
was his sister until the second movie. But like you said,
exactly.
he just wants to get rid of, like, he's just evil incarnate in a way, and like
Yep,
um
yep.
yeah, this is such a deeper meaning to the movie.
And something I want to point out too is in this movie they have that Blue Oyster Cult song "Don't Fear the Reaper," which the Carpenter didn't put it in for any specific reason except it was popular at the time. However, when the way he used this song is in the car with Lori and her friend, and
It's
Michael
fun.
is following her, and what does Michael kind of resemble?
Reaper,
The
yeah.
fucking Reaper, right? So the song is being played as he's chasing them in the street in the car. It was just a very
Yeah,
funny spot, and I don't think anybody kind of like
catches that.
puts
Yeah,
that
no, that's
together.
true. Um, I did. I guess I didn't capture it in the sense of that specific moment either, but I did capture it as in like again, like he's not human, like he's evil, like he's the Reaper, he's the boogeyman. Like it just kind of
Yeah,
plays into that as well, where like it's not just like he's not Michael Myers, like he's just evil. Like he just and he, yeah, it's just
yeah, bro.
perfect placement and timing too, though, for that song to come on the radio.
Hell yeah, man. Well, with the sake of time, let's talk about the ending parts of this first movie. You have Lori knows that he's there now, so she's freaking out. She sees her friends dead, and then she comes running back home, and the door is locked. And I think that
Hmm.
scene was pretty cool. She throws the planter, and then Tommy takes 14 fucking years to come down the stairs and open the fucking door to let her in. Like she's being chased by Michael, and Tommy's there like daydreaming. What are
Open
you
the door.
doing? Open the
And then the
door,
funny part
Tommy.
too, though, is like before that even happens, like she goes to that neighbor's house and she's like screaming for help, like on the floor, and the neighbor's
Yeah.
like turns the light on, like opens the curtain, and is like, "All right, well, like yeah, go
They're
away,
like, go
like
away.
like don't bother us," which is like fucking crazy.
Yeah, man.
But then yeah, and then you continue to the chase,
But
but
yeah, I did. Yeah, she finally gets inside because Tommy decided how to figure out how to work a fucking door. And then, the
hmm
window's open. And oh no, Michael's inside somewhere, right? And then the whole scene with the knitting pin. And he
hmm
stabs him in the neck. And he's like, yeah,
he's dead.
that's it. He's dead.
Evil is
Evil
dead.
is
And then
dead.
he gets up like he's I'm sure Undertaker took inspiration out of, but he wakes up like he gets up like he's the Undertaker before the
I
Undertaker was a
know.
thing. But um and then she thinks it's over, and then he's up again, and then that's when
Yep.
Dr. Loomis comes in, shoots him freaking 5 times, uh and then
Yeah, bro.
falls off the balcony. Um,
Right.
but and then that was the end. And like I said, uh,
And then he's
like the
gone.
ending,
Yeah.
of course, like watching it now, and who knows back then, but like people thought that it was okay. Well, there has to be a sequel because he's not dead. Like clearly, he gets up and moves after he got shot so many times. But but
Yeah.
in honesty, like John Carpenter, like he just left it like ambiguous, like, you know, like where'd he go? Is he like there wasn't no plan for the sequel. Like I said, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but we can kind of
Nope.
get into the second one if you want to, man.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. Start it off.
Again, well, so like this was written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, but there's a new director now in Rick Rosenthal. So, and you can tell the way it was shot,
Yeah, you can.
a lot of the death scenes, it was a lot different than the first one. Like the score, the music wise, as well. Yes,
Very
so yeah.
80s. Very 80s
And I
now.
forgot the name of the other composer that helped John Carpenter, but you can tell like that the influence on if you have
It was Alan
Mm,
Howard.
okay.
Howarth. Yeah, that dude.
So yeah, you can tell like it was different. Like I don't know
But
if it was like purposefully to kind of like uh attach itself from like the first movie or whatever, but like it's not bad. Like I like it too, but I definitely enjoy the theme and score of the first movie a whole lot more.
oh, for sure. Yeah. I think it was definitely they had to play
Yeah,
with the times,
yeah, it was
and the 80s
different.
were just a different time. The 80s started off really, really different
Mm,
than any other decade, and they had to do something different. I think it was popular to have that sound now, and in order to, get
mm,
people hooked and to get people, kind of watching it, they're like, how about we make this score
yeah,
sound more of the times, more
mm,
80s, not so old
which makes
anymore. And
sense. Yeah,
that's what they went. But I do
the
I
original.
do like the original score,
Yeah, which like I
obviously
said makes
better.
sense. Like you move with the times, and like that's what it kind of came down to. But the
Yeah.
opening song to the movie is like the Mr. Sandman uh song, which is also like
Yep.
iconic. Like whenever I hear that song, like all I think about is Halloween. Um,
Yep.
which is
Exactly.
almost also like giving him another name as well. Like he can be like he just evil and in general. Like he can be anything as like as long as he's evil,
Yep.
which is so cool.
Exactly.
But they also kind of reshot
Yeah.
the end of it to kind of fit into the second movie too, though. Like you can tell like they kind of reworked kind
That's
of like
right. They
the
did.
ending
Yeah.
scene. Um, but it literally just
Yeah.
kicks off literally right after the first one, like right after the first one.
Right after. Yep. Which I think is smart. That was a smart way to do number two, because it still felt like it was
Yeah,
part of number one. It
different.
wasn't a completely
Hmm.
different thing. It still felt like, okay, this is
Right
pretty much
after.
continuing right after, and it still had that same
Yeah.
feel in a way that, okay, I
Hmm.
remember what happened because you kind
Hmm.
of summed it up for me now, and now I can allow myself to be comfortable and enjoying what's coming next instead of just like, well, this is completely different. But
Hmm.
it felt like a good
Yeah.
opening.
And then I feel like Dr. Loomis's character in the second one was like way more, like a lot more aggressive and like just like angry and mean, and like
Yes,
which
very
makes sense
much
because like
so.
the whole like throughout the whole first movie, like he's trying to
Yes.
get the cops and like everyone to be like hey, like he's here, like he's
Yeah.
coming, like I know him, like, and like no one would really listen. And now he's killed all these
Yep.
people, and then it's like I shot him 5 times, like again, like bringing back the theme of like he's not human, like he's like he can't be killed. Um,
Right.
and so he gets like
Yeah.
fed up with it. He's just way more
Yeah.
aggressive and like trying to track him down. And then like this very specific quote. Like I said, I feel like he has more of these quotes in the second movie than it does in the first one. But I wanted to talk about this one where like the neighbor, like after he goes downstairs, Michael's gone. The neighbor comes out and uh, he's like, "What's going on?" Whatever. And then he's like, "I've been trick or treated to death tonight." And then he says, and
Yeah.
he's like, "You don't know what death is," which is like is
Yeah.
like that line within itself kind of just like explains like the whole first movie in a way, and like
Everything.
and then just like again it reiterates of like dude, you have no idea like what you're talking about, like what death is, like death
Exactly.
is here, like he's
Yep.
still out there. And like I'm gonna
Right. Yep. That's crazy.
dude,
That's a funny
it's
fucking
so
line.
good. It's so good.
Dude, yeah, I mean, just to remind everyone, the first one came out in 1978, October 25th, and then it's only 3 years later on October 30th, 1981 that this movie came out, but you can tell by that they had a
Oh
$2.5
yeah,
million budget because it just
yeah,
looks
the budget.
different. They had a lot more room
Hmm.
to play, and the budget definitely play into a role here. Just from the set alone, they found a abandoned hospital to
Mm,
use, and it wasn't like a Hollywood
actual
set. They
hospital.
actually used a real, building, and it like the long fucking hallways were
Hmm.
creepy as fuck, and then this movie was the first time that we saw from a security
Right.
camera
Yeah.
view of Michael too, which was creepy. You see this giant ass dude in his
Walking
white mask
through.
walking around the entire campus,
Yeah,
and that was creepy as fuck,
you
dude.
can tell that they upped the budget for sure. And I mean, of course, like the first one was a success. Like, why not give them more money to make a sequel? In which that's why also like
Yep.
the first and or what's it called? This one is more violent as far as like the deaths and like the use of blood and all that type of stuff. Um, because also like I guess we'll talk about it now
Yep.
since we're in the second movie. Like a lot of it from what I've seen is kind of like a studio mandate, of course. Like during that time, like all like that type of stuff was becoming more of a normal thing. Like the more of the gruesome stuff, like the more of the use of blood, and stuff like that. So it
Yeah.
makes sense because I believe they actually went back in and reshot a lot of those scenes to specifically add more blood and make it more violent. Which I
Interesting.
saw because of
I did
that's what
not
the
know
studio
that.
wanted. But
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely tell that the first movie was not a slasher film at all. At all. It had no blood,
yeah,
no gore. Like the use of the knife really wasn't even that much. I think he used it like twice, and this movie, part 2, the blood was there, and the fucking death scenes in this movie came right after
yeah.
the other one. Like, the second half of this movie
Hmm.
was just all
Yeah, the
death
first one was
scenes.
him kind of
That's all it
running
was.
away, or not running away, but like him trying to like gather himself up, and then up to the point where he runs into the dude with like the big old like boombox thing or whatever, listening to the news of like Laurie
Yep,
was taken to uh, the hospital, and then now he's like, okay, now
the
I know where to go.
hospital.
Although, and then Laurie,
Yeah.
she
Yep.
wasn't the most like is it prominent character in this movie in the second one. Like she didn't really have much
Yeah,
until the end, really. Cause like she gets stabbed,
exactly.
like her ankles like twisted or whatever. So she's kind of like spends most of her time just being out in the
Yep.
hospital. Like she's like coming in and out of consciousness.
Right.
Like she doesn't have like such a big um her
No
presence isn't as big as like the first. Yeah, her role isn't as big
role.
as in the
Yeah.
first movie. So that kind of has a different vibe to it too. Like eventually, of course, like that's who he's trying to kill at the end. But um,
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely played the part of a
yeah,
PTSD victim, and she was very, she had no idea what was going on half of the time. All she knew is
he's
that
coming.
evil
Yeah,
was coming for her,
she
right?
knew that
That's
he
all
was
she knew.
eventually gonna come
It's
back.
like if if he wasn't dead when she got to the hospital, and then he's not gonna die. So she did everything she could
Yeah,
do to get away. And like you mentioned, this this movie actually told us a
Yeah.
backstory of Michael. You know, it told us, and it had that little sneak peek of him in the
Mm-hmm.
center, and it had young
Yeah.
Lori come to
She had
visit.
like that vision
Remember,
kind of thing, or yeah, the
she
dream.
dreamt
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and then that kind of told a different part of the
Mm-hmm.
entire story right there. And then it showed the scene in the school with the knife stabbing the drawing of the girl, and then on the
Mm-hmm.
chalkboard it had
Oh yeah,
Sam
yeah,
Hain,
yeah.
written on it. So now we're getting a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more of a story, not just this evil presence. So now it's personalizing evil,
Mm-hmm.
not just evil itself. Now we're
Yeah.
personalizing
Yeah.
Michael,
True. Yeah. That's
right?
yeah, that's different from the first movie, like you said. So it's the themes, like I said, it's not because, like I said, John Carpenter, the first one was the movie within itself. Okay, so I guess we can kind of get into you know John Carpenter not really wanting to write the sequel, make the sequel, let alone like direct it, and that's why he did write it, but he ended up giving the reins to someone else. But yeah, like I mean, the main reason why he wrote it was because like he had contractual obligations to the studio and like other financial reasons and stuff like that. But he really hated the whole process of writing and making the second movie, which is kind of crazy to think about. But um, like I guess like 2 points that I kind of wanted to make was like one, like he was drunk, like he was like heavily drinking during like the whole process of this. Like he said he found it like just like tedious, like he just hated like so like imagine like how different it would have been if he actually like wanted to do this, Um, and then like the second point is
Right.
later, like he kind of wrote the whole part of like Lori being his sister as like kind of like a last minute, like let's just kind of throw this in there because you needed like there had to be a reason for why Michael's
Mm,
still chasing her in the second movie, I guess, or whatever. And when it's like now, like he
yeah.
regrets like having kind of like that idea thrown in there. Um,
Yeah.
and you can tell like
Definitely
the second
different.
movie, like it's still good, but it is different. Like the vibe, even though it's still written by John Carpenter, but like you can tell like he didn't
Right.
like necessarily like he didn't try. He just didn't like maybe care as much.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the writing of Michael was a lack of it. I think they relied heavily on knowing
Yeah.
that Michael was a killer now. And Michael was very more aggressive in this movie. Like the whole scene at the end where he just walks through the glass
Hmm.
of the front
Yeah.
door, and then he gets shot then. But I mean, like, he was a lot more
Yeah.
forward in this movie. And
His
the
mannerisms.
the they didn't waste time in yeah, they did not waste time in
Hmm.
displaying what Michael does. Unlike the
Yeah.
first movie, it took a minute because they wanted that,
Hmm.
delay gratification for it.
He's just like
This
full
movie, they were
force.
like,
Like
no,
I'm
let's
just
go
here to
fucking
kill.
balls in, dude.
Like I'm not waiting. Like I'm not like
Yep.
planning this out. Like taking my time. Like being patient. Like no. Like I'm
Yeah.
just. If I see you, like you're gonna die. like I don't
Yeah.
care. Um,
Right.
and which
Exactly.
I guess like I want to talk about
Yep.
that too. Like
Yep.
like like I said, the mannerisms. Like I don't know if it was so. There are two different actors. The one in the first one was portrayed by Nick Castle, and then the guy in the second one was Dick Warlock.
Yeah.
So of course each actor is gonna have their own way as well. But given that there is a new director, like John Carpenter himself didn't want to write the second one, so like I wonder if that also had an influence on like how he was how the how he was played and portrayed in like the second movie compared to the first one. I like personally for me,
Right.
I like, I guess, like Nick Castle's interpretation of Michael. Like I said, it was very like
Yeah, I
the
did too.
first person angles that like John Carpenter used. Like I said, the way he was patient, like every movement he used, like it
Yep.
was like for a purpose. Like it was just more thought out compared to like the second one. Like you said, it was just like, I'm just gonna do it.
It
Like I'm
was.
here. Like just busting through windows. Like I don't care what it is. Like
Yep.
so it was like more aggressive. Michael, like it was,
Yep.
although he was still smart because like the in the hospital, like he like every car's tires were fucking popped. Like the gas line, whatever, was
They
like
were. Yeah.
leaking. So like he was still smart, but like
Right.
he still felt like a different Michael, kind of in a way. Still,
It did. Yeah. Yeah. This Michael is
mm,
definitely different in all forms. Which I think
yeah,
it's a good thing because you don't want
yeah.
the same
That's
style, right? Because
typical.
it's a whole different sequel, right? Um, but yeah, I do agree that the first Michael, played by Nick Castle, was a better
Mm-hmm.
fitting Michael for the character itself.
Yeah.
That's a
What was your
good point
opinion?
of
Like,
view.
what do you think about like Carpenter like not wanting to make the second one?
You know, I think he was in the right because I think number one was such a masterpiece of a film, right? And anytime you have a great debut film
Mm-hmm.
in a series, the other ones that come after it,
Yeah.
it doesn't live up to the hype, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Carpenter knew that. However, I do think that Halloween 2
Yeah.
was a success too, because
Mm-hmm.
this movie was really good. Actually, I'm not taking anything away from how good that this film was, um, but I think Carpenter had a big heart for the
Yeah.
first movie, and he
Exactly.
didn't want to fuck it up. So he just didn't want to invest his time in
Mm-hmm.
making another
Yeah.
Halloween
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
like the
Like I said,
first
it's
one. So
as a fan of the franchise and what it is now, it's like looking back on it, like, and it's his creation. Like it's like he created all this, so like he, of course, it's in his right to like, I'm only making one. Like like I don't want to make a second one. Like,
right,
but of course, studios and
yeah,
all that like play such a big role. And of course, when like something's successful, the first thing that comes to mind is like, all right, well, let's make a second one. So it kind of sucks that he kind of like
exactly.
in a way
Yep,
was
yep,
forced to make a second one. So like I said, like imagine if he wasn't forced and like he actually wanted to do this, and like how much different it could have
right.
potentially have been. So like who knows, like in a different world and the different universe, like we could have had like
Yeah,
Halloween 2 be
yeah.
um so different. Like
Something
it's kind of
different.
crazy to think about.
Yep.
um,
Um, I want to ask you a question. Based on Halloween 1 and 2, which movie had the best
I think
death
the
scenes?
second one, uh just because I think more the fact that they were more violent compared to the first ones. A lot of the way the first one was shot with like first person point of view, you kind of missed a lot of like the camera panouts, I guess, of like the whole background of like everything that's kind of happening and like the way it was shot. Um, compared to this one where like it was a whole different, like you actually saw like the girl that got like he put her face in the hot tub, like you saw like the whole background, like you saw him actually like put her
Yeah.
in, like you saw the angle of her in the water. um
Yeah.
like compared to
Yeah.
like Judith Meyer's death, like the opening scene where like it's first person and like he looks up and like you just see the knife go up and down, like the way it was shot was different. So I think
Yeah.
only because of that, I think the second one had better deaths, quote unquote. I don't know if you felt the same way.
Right. Yeah. I could not I could not agree more. The second movie, Halloween 2, had way better death scenes than Halloween 1. Just, to name off some of them,
Yep.
the fucking hammer to the head, that was one of them. That was gnarly. It was quick, but it was
Yeah,
like, dude,
yeah.
I don't want to get hit in the head with a hammer. And then, like you said, the fucking hot tub
Yeah,
scene where
peeling. Like you see
her skin is just
her skin
melting
peeling.
off is just peeling and melting,
Yeah.
and he just keeps her dipped in the water for like 30 seconds. That was gnarly. And then another one, this movie actually had a couple of
Mm-hmm.
unique death scenes just because of the
Yeah,
needle in the
that
eye.
was different.
Like that was different. And then you got to see him, poke
Yep.
the side of
Mm-hmm.
of her temple with the fucking
Yep.
needle. That was different. And then charge nurse gets
Yeah.
drained. Her blood gets
Yeah, that was
drained and
different.
it's all over the floor. Like what we know of Michael, he has a
Yeah.
knife and he chokes people, right? And now he's like draining
Like it's getting way
blood and like
more like
all this like crazy
meticulous
shit.
and like thought out kills. Cause that one, I think that was the more obscure one of all of them. Was like the whole like that nurse with like her blood draining out. Cause like from what we've seen in the first one and even up to
Yeah.
that point, like Michael wouldn't, like you wouldn't think he'd kill someone in that way. I guess like it was like so different. Like it
No.
was almost like torturous in a
No.
way. It was way different.
Yep. But yeah, but I mean, this movie, I thought it was pretty cool because you said it in the beginning. This movie starts with the
It
song
ends with it
Sandman, right,
too.
and it ends with it too. And that was a cool little send off because it kind of brought you back to the start of it. It's like, oh yeah, that song
Mm-hmm.
was the beginning of this fucking
So,
movie, and kind of ends with it too. But yeah, but overall, I think this is a
yeah.
success of a movie. I think you wanted to touch
Yeah.
on
One more
the
thing.
mask, right?
Going back to like Dr. Loomis and how much more aggressive he is. Like the scene where they're driving back to the mental hospital with the lady and like the police officer. Like he literally holds the police officer at gunpoint, like shoots his gun like just openly, like yo, we gotta go back because he's not dead. Is just
Oh
like I said,
man,
he doesn't
no,
care at this point. Like he'll do anything to stop Michael. Um,
yeah,
and then and also like in that same scene, like a little bit before that, is when he finds out himself that Lori is Michael's sister and all that stuff too. So like she
that's
kind of
right.
goes a little
Yep,
bit more in depth on like that lost file or whatever, not lost file, but like that kept secret file of like
right.
Lori being his
Yeah,
his sister. But yeah, so the
for
mask,
sure.
I want to talk about too, where the origins of the mask is hilarious. Is kind of crazy because of how low budget the the first movie was. Like they like Carpenter had an idea because I think he described the mask as like faceless, kind of like ghostless or whatever. And it's kind of like he had the idea for the mask, but um, so like the production designer person who was like tasked with like finding the mask or like whatever, kind of went back to like the studios, like lockbox or whatever you want to call it, and like found this William Shatner kind of cast that they made that they were going to use for like Star Trek, and and then that ends up being the iconic Michael Myers mask, which
Yep.
of course they opened up the eyes, they painted it white, and it kind of transformed it. But it's kind of crazy to think that like Captain Kirk is Michael Myers in a way.
Yeah,
It's kind of funny.
that is crazy. Yep. Yep. They just found this fucking mask,
Yep.
decided to put some fake ass hair on it and paint it white,
And it
and
worked
it
because like
was
it's
it fucking
such a
worked,
good
dude. It's a
mask. It's
great mask, and
iconic.
it's iconic
Like
now.
it's I'd say it's the best mask used in like horror or whatever. Um, and like for it to come out
I agree.
like
I
that
agree.
is it's hilarious. Um,
Yep. Yep. But overall, what do you think about this timeline of Halloween? The first two. Do you think it was the best timeline, or do you have another timeline that you think is better, or are we planning on doing more of Halloween movies, and
Yeah,
you want to
so
keep that a
I w-
secret?
I want to continue rewatching the rest of the franchise because I've seen it. It's been a while. Um, there's so many different timelines.
Yeah,
There's like the new
right.
ones, the new like Blumhouse trilogy that they made. That's more recent. Then there's like the timeline where like you have like um the first two, then it does like H2O like 20 years later, and then it does like Resurrection, and then there's the one where it's like 1, 2, and then like skip 3 because of like Season of the Witch, and then it goes like 4, 5 or whatever. Um, so we'll definitely be talking about like those timelines and what we think, and I think eventually we can kind of see like which one's our favorite one, but yeah, I'm excited to like continue to watch and we'll talk about these movies as a whole.
Yeah, man, I'm excited too. It should be a really good time watching these films and then talking about it. Before we move on to a little bit of a different
Uh,
topic to end the show, is there anything else you want to add
just appreciate
between Halloween 1 and then Halloween
the
2?
listeners, and hope you guys enjoy the the talk, the Halloween talk. Like I said, it's October, it's Halloween, so we're excited to continue with these future episodes in this month to kind of talk more about like horror movies in general. And I just want to hear your guys' opinion too. Like, do you like the first one as much as we do? Like, what are your thoughts on the second one? Did you know like that John Carpenter didn't want to make the second one? Did you know about like the William Shatner mask thing? Like, let us know. Like what do you guys think?
Absolutely. Yeah. And to close out the show, we closed out our first episode ever here on Saving Point Podcast. We're doing a closing nostalgia moment of the episode where we talk about one thing nostalgic from our childhood or just something that comes into mind. And I think this is going to be a running thing for Saving Point Podcast because there is a lot of nostalgic things out there that it would be fun and interesting to talk about. And I think we pick one per episode, it would be a cool little element. So
Mhm.
I think last episode, Eduardo,
Yeah,
you went first. So I'm going to go ahead and take the reins and go first this time. So my nostalgia moment of the
yeah,
episode. Do you remember those Lego Bionicles?
the-
Dude, I don't know what
yeah.
happened to the Lego fucking Bionicles, man,
Mm-hmm.
where you build like a robot. It's like a Lego fucking robot looking thing. As a kid, I had so many of those fucking
Mm-hmm.
things because I never really cared for like regular fucking Legos. Like those were kind of boring to me. But for some reason, these Lego Bionicle fucking, I would my little 8-year-old fucking Willie sitting in his fucking room in a corner, fucking building these fucking Lego Bionicles, man. They were the shit, man. They were fun.
Yeah, wasn't there like a TV show? I think like the Bionicles TV series. I think I remember that
Oh
more
yeah, there
than the actual. I
was.
mean, I remember the Legos. I remember like the commercials being put out like by Bionicle Legos. I never had any though personally, but I do remember the commercials for that, and then I believe like the TV show being advertised or something like that.
That's right. I forgot about the
So
TV show. That's funny.
yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, I do remember that though.
What's yours? What you
Um,
got?
so I have one that's actually kind of funny. And this is kind of like an elementary school thing.
Okay.
Do you remember the Scholastic book fairs that we used to have back in the day?
I do.
I don't
I
know if that's
do.
still a thing now or not, but I remember that like being like super excited for as a kid because like I was kind of like more into like reading books kind of like when I was younger and like I remember like just being excited like getting like $10 from like my parents to like buy a book from like the book fair when it was there or whatever like
Yeah.
and like the books like I think they were like cheap like it was probably like $5 a book back then or something like I don't remember but like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books like the Captain Underpants books like the
Yeah.
Goosebumps books back then like I remember just buying those like it was kind of like a memory for me that I have when I was in
Yeah.
elementary
That's a damn
school.
good one, dude. I remember
Hmm.
those too. I remember vividly
Hmm.
looking at the covers and wishing that my parents weren't broke as fuck, so I can afford to buy one.
And you wanted like
Because
all the books. I'm
I
like, dude, I
wanted
want all
all of them.
these
They were so
books.
good, dude. The Captain Underpants books, dude, they look so fun
Dude,
to read. They were
yeah,
so
like
cool.
they're very like comic-y, so like of course it like stands
Yeah,
out and like they're super funny. Even like the
right.
Diary Room with the Kids ones too, were like kind of
Oh
comic
yeah,
looking or whatever.
that
And then of
that
course like
that's a
the
good one.
yeah, like the horror like Goosebumps like series.
Yeah, hell
Damn,
yeah,
and that
bro.
was yeah, I remember that back in the day. It was a lot of fun.
That's the damn good
I always look
throwback.
forward to
That was a good
that.
one. But
uh,
yeah, man. Shit, we got some good picks on this
hmm So far, man.
nostalgia moment of the episodes, so far. Our first one and now this one is it's
This
a
one,
fun
yeah.
little it's a fun little side quest we can call it.
Yep.
Um
Fun little
Pretty
segment
dope.
now.
But yeah, with that being said, I want to appreciate you all for checking out. This is the second episode of Saving Point Podcast. If we haven't explained in the first one, which I don't think we did, my name is Willie, and that's Eduardo. We might
Yeah.
have said it like once or twice, but
Once.
just so y'all know, my name is Willie. This is Eduardo. We've been friends for dude. Can you believe it's 18 fucking years
It's
now?
been a long time, dude. Yeah, I was in elementary
18
school when I met
years.
him. I think
Yep,
you were in
yep.
middle school.
Yep. Just started. I was like
I've
seventh
been,
grade. You're like fifth grade, dude. It's been 18
yeah,
fucking years. It's
yeah,
a
it's been a
long,
long
long
time.
fucking while.
Hmm
But yeah,
Yep,
we're on here. We're talking about some shit that we like, whether that's movies, video games, TV shows, nerdy stuff. Doesn't matter what it is. We're gonna bring it to you. Hope you all enjoy it. Hope you all have some thoughts and opinions that you want to share down below. And don't forget to go to X, go to Instagram, go to fucking TikTok. Subscribe here on YouTube at Saving Point Podcast. We're the only one out there. Don't be subscribing to any other one but Saving Point Podcast because this is a place you want to be. But yeah, anything else you want to say, Ward? To close it out.
no, yeah, same thing. Just follow us on the socials, engage with our posts. Hopefully, and like I said, we want to know like your thoughts and opinions. Maybe kind of give us ideas of kind of like what to talk about in like future episodes that you guys like would be interested in. Like I said, we watch. At least for me personally, like I'll watch any genre. Like I don't really care what it is. Like as long as like I think it's a good story, or like if I like the actor in particular, like I'll watch anything. So this is really fun podcast that we kind of came up with to it's just us just talking about what we normally would anyway. So like
Yep.
putting this out for like other people is it's fun, man.
Absolutely. And we're gonna have some clips coming out soon, so be sure to like those and share those. And yeah,
Mm.
all that good stuff. But with that being said, Wardo, I'll catch you later. Catch you on the next
Yes,
one.
sir.
And thank you all for watching.
Thank you for watching. Peace.